Hey guys, welcome back to Zoom for Bodhisattvas. In this third video, we're gonna see the different settings that Zoom has. Now, one thing we need to do is to click on the little arrow next to the camera or next to the audio on the microphone, and you will select video settings or our audio settings. And you will find this little window here with the different tabs on the left, right? And we're gonna go one by one because there are certain configurations that we want to actually use whenever to improve our productivity when we are managing a Zoom. All right. So, and in the general one, we will find these options. I won't go over all of them in detail because it would take time, but uh, basically they are self-explanatory, and if you don't know kind of like what they mean, some of them have this little question mark here, and then when you hover on it, it will give you like some kind of hint or something, right? So I would recommend to have this one of enter full screen when starting or joining disabled, because sometimes you will need to open your participants and chat to have a very good control over it. And if you have full screen, then they will look like this and stay in the middle. And for me, it is very chaotic. So I rather have it attached to the same window here on the side. Always show meeting controls. That's a personal preference, but these controls up down here, they can disappear if you disable this option. I'm gonna stop moving the mouse, and I want you to see how these buttons down, you see, they disappear right below. Now they show up again. I have to have them, well, to be honest, depending on my mood, I could have them on, I could have this on or off. Copy the link, the invite link when starting a meeting. This is one of my favorite functions because as soon as you start the call, you don't have to go looking for the link. You automatically get it on the copy and the clipboard, and then you can just paste it. And here you see the link. You can paste it anywhere in any chat. So that's pretty cool. Helps you a lot with efficiency. Ask me to confirm when I leave a meeting. This is always a good idea to keep it on because sometimes we click it by mistake and we can, screw up everything. So then show meeting timers. We talked about this the other day. It's the little clock up here. That's a good option to keep track of in case you have an agenda or something to follow. That's a good one. What else? So this is stop my video. Remind about upcoming events. Show your profile icon. Automatically some workspace system. These are basically kind of like look and feel options. The kind of color of skin tones. Yeah, these are not so important. Let's jump into the other one. If we go to the video settings, we will have here, we already talked about this, the ratio, HD, selecting the source, the camera source, touch up appearance, adjust for low light, etc. You can play around with these options. The audio is pretty much the same as the video, but here you have the chance to select, again, the source of the speakers and the source of the microphone here. And also one very cool function that they recently added for the audio profile is that you can have different noise removal options, okay? So if you have this one, you can have auto, low, and medium and high. I personally like original sound for musicians and keep the high fidelity music mode, echo cancellation, stereo audio, because sometimes I share music through a virtual microphone, and if I have the noise removal, then the music won't sound properly. It will sound like clunky or really bad. So I like to have this one. And when you enable this one, I wanted to notice something. Right here on the top right, next to the little, I'm clicking right there. Oh, next to the little clock here, I want you to check this out. I'm going to click on original sound for music. And now you will have this original sound for musicians thing. And right now it says off. If you're going to share music or something, or you want to be heard, heard very clearly, you have to click it to on. So there is no filters of sound in Zoom, and the sound that comes from your microphone passes completely, let's call it pure, without any kind of filter. Then they have this personalized audio isolation, which is new. Basically, you create a voice print of your own voice, and this helps a lot to improve kind of like the noise removal. I don't know if you have noticed sometimes when it's active, some words get lost if it's too loud, the noise in the environment. So this is supposed to help with that. Live performance audio is kind of like a, a way up on the original sound for musicians. I don't use that much, to be honest. And then we have ringtones for the meetings. Remember that we made a call the other day to that computer? You can change the audio, like this is the default. And now they have added new ringtones. But anyway, that well, we have also options of mute my mic when joining to some other people's meetings or my own, etc. Then on share screen, which is actually this green button right here, we have different options. You want to keep the maximize window on because sometimes people have the screens kind of like small, and if a teacher shares something important on the screen, they could miss it. So you want that to be enabled. Now, very important. You can share all windows from application or individual window, and automatically share desktop, or show all the options. I would recommend show all the options, because sometimes you could be sharing something that you don't want people to see, like your personal messages or something. Um, and there's something else that the option, they took it out from here. But if we go down here to the share thing, to the share button, and we click next in the little arrow, we want to keep the, generally speaking, all participants can share unless you want only the host to share screen in order to avoid interruptions in the classes. So you can do that. And if you have the all participants active, this is an option where imagine someone is already sharing screen, then you could interrupt the sharing from someone else by sharing your own screen. That's a very useful function, because sometimes people is sharing screen and then they ask somebody else to, hey, can you share your screen instead? And they will have to wait for the other person to stop sharing and then start sharing their screen then. So it's kind of like waste of time, basically. These are basically tips of how to make more productive a team call. Then team chat. Team chat, most people don't use it. To be honest, I found it very useful. I use it a lot myself, because, for example, I mentioned before that I have, I'm going to show you, that I have around 7 or more computers when I'm in the middle of the DCI, SCIM programs, and I created a group here called IT Tech Announcements, where I send all the different links, Zoom links, for the calls that we're going to use. That's pretty useful, because some people in my team don't know how to call on Zoom. And to be honest, I haven't given myself the time to train them. Maybe World Productions will allow me to share these videos with them, so they get trained. But since if people don't know how to do that, they just come to the chat and they click. Or if there's any relevant information, like let's say you have three computers right here, and you use one computer to share BPT, one computer to manage the Zoom, and one computer for WhatsApp or whatever, and you want people want you to share something in the WhatsApp one, then you copy the link in the WhatsApp one, you put it in the group, and you open the chat in the computer that has where you are sharing the PPT, and you have everything here. You don't have to struggle with sending files, etc. So that's pretty useful too. All right. So next, Zoom apps. These are apps that Zoom or people develop that are kind of useful. Uh, Timer, clock, agenda, countdown, stopwatch is a really good one that you may want to use to keep the agenda, the track of time during your meetings. This is pretty straightforward. I guess everyone knows this. It's how to create. This is pretty cool. Check it out. Peacock warrior eating poison with the peacock, like you guys. Um, yeah, this is how to select the background, video filters, avatars, etc. You can even put videos. For example, I sometimes I turn off my camera like this, and to show just this screen, because translators, which is actually a very cool tool that you guys may want to use. Sometimes speakers go like blah, 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 and the translators just go crazy. So the speakers appreciate that, and also the translators, that we send a reminder of, hey, listen, remember that we have translators, so please slow down, and we will be protecting everyone. Then recording. When you are allowed to make a recording, you can even select in which folder you want the recordings to be stored. And by the way, when you record, try, depending on the instructions they give you, try not to record in the cloud, because one of the problems that arise when someone records on cloud is that sometimes, I don't know if they have fixed that, but in the past, if someone recorded in the cloud, all the other hosts or co-hosts that are allowed to record have that function of recording blocked, and they cannot record locally the different languages, and that's pretty stupid if you ask me. But maybe they already fixed it. So make sure to record locally. A pretty cool option here that I love using is record a separate audio file for each participant. That is a very, very cool option that you want to have enabled, or to ask your backup recorders enabled, because let's say, for example, that you have a recording and you have a very cool audio from origin on the video. I mean, I'm talking, maybe you don't use it, guys, but I'm going to share a little bit of my experience with DCI and SCIM. One thing that I also do is to do video editing. So sometimes in the studio of Sedona, we have very, very good quality, the audio. And it's better than the Zoom one. So I use the original audio from source of the studio, but sometimes the audio of the speakers, of the other speakers that are in the call, is not very clear. So what I do is to bring that separate audio of that particular person and put it in the right place in the video. If you don't do that, you will have a long video, and sometimes people is talking like at the same time, and you don't even understand what each one of them is saying. So having a separate audio will allow you to listen, or to have the audio of what each one of them said individually clearly. Cool. What else? This is just a good option to have the name in the files. Record audio, sharing. Okay, that's it. Profile, pretty straightforward. I mean, all the details that you guys know about the profile. Statistics, something that I don't use that much either, but you have, in case you need them, you have some statistics here. Keyboard shortcuts, basically to make your whole process more productive. You know, which I should learn this, by the way. This is, I never checked this before. Hehe. Everyone, you learn something new every day. This is for captions. Yeah, so not you won't use much of this though. So that's pretty much it about the settings. And I hope that you find this video interesting, guys. See you next time.